Welcome to this week's Resoluna podcast. Today, we are interviewing Jenny Wells. She's a Pilates, fitness, overall wellness guru expert. So welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Did I put a little pressure on you? Sorry.
Yeah, totally.
How are you doing? Thanks for coming.
I'm great. Thanks for having me. This is fun. I'm excited to dive in with you. And
well, share with us what, your background, how you got into fitness, wellness.
Well, I'm an Idaho gal. I rolled into Vegas about 8 years ago, and somebody invited me to a fitness studio, and I was like, okay, I'll go. And I had a 7 to 10 day processing time where my body was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I don't know, but I probably should get hydrated. So I started diving in a little bit more and like learning how to take care of myself within the challenge of making a group fitness or regimen. And then I really started getting the itch and being like, oh, this is fun.
So you weren't into fitness before you got here?
Not really. Like,
Okay.
I'd gone to the gym and had some yoga in my life, but it wasn't ever anything like regular. And I started going regularly. And once I like came up on this space where I was like, this is fun. I'm showing up early. I'm loving how I feel after it. And then it was like a light bulb, like you're like taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like. Cause I'm a mom of 3. So up until that point, I was like mom mode, tend to the kids, tend to the family, be a wife, do that, that lifestyle, cooking, cleaning, laundry. And so it was this new little pocket of finding more of who I could be and what that looks like. And just for the sheer sake of feeling that in my own body.
Like time for yourself.
Yeah, which, never really was the thing before. I was always a caretaker as growing up. I was the oldest, and so I cared for my siblings and then transitioned into caring for my own family.
And why Pilates?
It just felt right for me. Like it felt something that it just felt like that's a yes for me.
Okay.
Like I wasn't trying to go to be anything over the top. I didn't want to get super ripped or be really like, I wanted to be strong. And for sure, if somebody was like, I will challenge you to an arm wrestle, I'd be like, yes, I'll give it my best shot. My little chicken nugget out here giving it its best. But Pilates was fun. I liked how it flowed and I liked how it hit all of the parts of my body.
Okay, so what's the difference? Because I'm newer to that, I don't know too much about Pilates versus, let's say, lifting weights.
Pilates, the center of Pilates is breath and body to mind. So if you can put your breath and your body together with your mind and control what you're doing from your center, you can be really quite fluid and in flow with your own body versus weightlifting. It's like, oh, I got to get these many reps. Oh, I got to get this weight. Oh, I got to go up higher. Oh, I got to burn the muscles or break the muscles down. So for me, it was like just a smooth with not a lot of pressure of getting to a step. It was just like learning your body and its strengths without it being, you have to pick this end goal and get to there. It's like you can gradually work your way up. And I liked that.
So does it still build muscle though?
Oh yeah, you can build muscle in Pilates. A lot of what's going on in Pilates is toning and tightening and just being able to say, all right, I'm going to clue into this part of my body. I know where my center is. I know where my core is. And now I'm going to ask my body to do something really challenging. And the engagement overall is kind of what you're going for, not necessarily, oh, I want to build a ton of muscle or whatnot. You can build a lot of strength though. And I feel like my mental strength as well as physical strength has exponentially grown from that.
Well, tell me about that. So how does that happen in Pilates, that your mental strength got built as well? Because I know a lot of people are looking for that, that mindset strength.
Yeah, if you think like, oh, I'm just going through life, I'm kind of like, la, 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 la. You're not really focusing on anything in particular. You're letting life come at you, and then you're trying to figure out how to work through and be like, did I make it? In Pilates, like the overlay for me was that, all right, slow down, get with your breath, tap into your body. Where's your center in all of this? Are you off your center? Can you get back to your center? Yeah. Once you get back to your center, then you can make a more conscious decision on how to maneuver, what's coming your way.
So more proactive than reactive is what it sounds like.
Yeah, or it gives you I like to say it's building neural pathways in your brain. And from what I've learned, it can take up to 500 times. 200 to 500 times is the typical window to build a neural pathway for something to feel natural in your body. If you can get that neural pathway, then it's accessible. It's like part of the toolbox, you just pull and you're there. If you can do it through play, you can shorten that down to 4 to 10 times, which is pretty incredible. So that spun me to another level of like, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
So let's have fun. We'll build strength, we'll build muscle, we'll build endurance. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no.
I talk with my hands a lot, and then I'm like, did I even answer the question?
Well, I love what you said about play. Like, I mean, so you're saying you're having fun in Pilates, like while you're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's sign me up. We're gonna sign up for some of that.
And if you can laugh, then that's extra core work. So that's even better, right?
All right, I love it. And so, is that the only thing you do, or do you other fitness type workouts as well?
I teach kettlebells, and then I also teach yin yoga.
Okay.
Which is completely on the opposite end of the spectrum, but it's balanced to me, and it's kind of a non-negotiable when I think about you're going to work really hard, you're going to lift kettlebells, you're going to do Pilates, and that's physically straining and draining and taxing on the body. What are you going to do to restore and repair and recover from all of that? And that's where I find that yin comes into play.
Okay. So Pilates would be the stretching, then the kettlebells would be like the more muscle, and then the yin would be the recovery?
Kettlebells would be more strength training.
Okay.
Dynamic strength training, and there's a lot of space to build muscle in kettlebell. The fun part for me is that the shape of the object doesn't change. The weight can go up or go down. You can utilize one or two within your workout. Pilates, there's stretch and there's strength building. Some Pilates classes will have quicker movement, depending on if there's cardio in there or not. I teach a variety of Pilates versions. One includes cardio and heat, and then one is just like no heat, and we're not doing any cardio. We're not like trying to peg out our heart rate. We're just taxing the muscles over a duration of time. So that can challenge people in a lot of different ways, right? Like sometimes people think the only way to get a workout is to lift weights, or I don't want to build muscle, so I'm just going to do something minimal. But there's a lot there, and I keep finding that little light bulbs pop, and there's more to be found in it. So that's a kind of a deep question. I don't know if we want to.
Well, no, it sounds like you have your own unique style and blend. Like, how did you come upon that? Like, really just making them work together in a blended way?
You know, I went through trainings to get me set, because before I didn't really have any basis on what to pull from. So my foundations were some trainings with a local fitness studio here in Vegas. And just after going through that training, it's like, oh my God, that's a lot of information. So then it's like practice. And when you practice, then you build more confidence. And when you teach somebody, then it helps your brain build even more. And then just being inquisitive on what can we get out of this, getting more into the anatomy of the body, the biology of the body, the biomechanics of the body. Like I still feel like I'm like pouring knowledge into me.
Yeah, just learning.
More knowledge.
Yeah.
But for me, my basis right now is to keep it simple, stay with the base, and then add to that. And how can we vary the base a little bit each time? And, you know, it's kind of a creative outlet as well as a physical fitness purpose.
Yeah.
And touching in with your body by way of movement, you're building not just muscle tissue and fiber, but you're creating this ability for your body to create the natural hormones that help you feel better. You're not staying stagnant.
Right. So movement, is that what you're passionate about? What are you the most passionate about all that blend of things?
Why are you asking me the hard questions?
Because I'm interested in you and I want to know. It sounds like you have a really creative approach to this. And it sounds like you're also working from the inside out, you know, strength, mind, and body.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss that piece sometimes.
There's no one way about it, which I find that to be refreshing and kind of a relief, actually. Then I don't have to be any one set way about
Okay.
something. I like to have the structure of things, but basically, yes, I love being creative. This passion of learning about the body, like, oh, isn't it so cool that your heart energy ends in your palm? Like, whoa, okay, that's wild. So, like, one of the things I like to say in class is like, when you hug yourself or when you touch yourself with your hands, you're basically putting your heart around your own self, or you hug somebody else, you're giving them a piece of your heart in an external format. So I'm passionate about a lot of different energy tap-ins in the body, not just the physical, here's your knee and here's your
Right.
hand and whatever, but like what runs through your knee, what runs through your hand, what is part of your body that's getting activated when you're doing certain workouts, or when you're getting mentally challenged, or when you're having to focus, what's happening when you breathe a certain way.
Those are a lot of questions. So it sounds like you're in tune with your body and it's all kind of flowing together.
Occasionally it's off the charts and I'm like, let's pick it back up, bring it back to normal. So I'm absolutely learning within every step that I'm taking in the environment around me. I learn from people that I teach, because I'm getting their feedback in real time, what's happening with their body, as much as they're able to verbally tell me, or as much as I'm able to physically see in them. And then how can I apply that to my own self? Like, for the longest time, I was having the hardest time remembering what front and back were. So anterior and posterior. And I know it sounds silly, but that's not like normal speak to go out and be like, oh, my posterior side. And, somebody's like, what are you even saying? So building my own neural pathways through learning how to help somebody else has really helped me get into this space of not just having passion for something, because I feel like passion that doesn't have any purpose is kind of just a burning flame that's going, like, it can go wherever.
Yeah.
But if you have purpose, then it like melds together and you can really drive it to something that you start seeing results, you start seeing the ahas, you start seeing and hearing the feedback that's like, you're making a difference by doing that.
It sounds like you're very thoughtful, because what I'm hearing is you're really giving attention to multiple areas and you're allowing for flexibility and energy and space. Because, in the fitness industry, sometimes it's like, no, you have to do it this way, or this is the only way that it works. So, I mean, what you're sharing sounds like there's many ways that it can work.
There are, and I don't really have a one answer for that. But what's working for me is keeping somewhat consistent. And consistency doesn't have to look like the exact same thing every day. Maybe one day is like, all right, well, the consistency is that you're hydrated, you're rested, and that you're not pushing too hard. Or when you have a lot of energy, push a little harder. Something that's really blowing my mind these days is learning about how women have different cycles than men. Men have a 24-hour cycle and women have a 28-day cycle with 4 different variables in there. Oh no, what does that look like?
Well,
It looks like different energies in different spaces. So some days when I go to lift kettlebells, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to lay down right now. So now how do I keep my commitment by saying I was going to teach this class? How do I keep the commitment and not burn out my energy? And so learning that alchemy or that chemistry within my own body is pretty.
I mean, I think a lot of people struggle with that. So what tactics are you using? Because there's, like you said, like one day you really want to do it, one day you really don't want to do it. So how do you learn, I guess, to navigate that?
That's a great question, because before you know something, you don't know that you don't know. Right? So then you learn, oh, here's something that I could apply. Well, let's test it and see how it works. So now that I'm coming more into the balance of, learning this skill, this art of Pilates, this art of kettlebell, this art of yin, how do they go together within all those cycles, and how can I temper it to where I'm walking out still getting the good feeling, right? Because moving the body is better than sitting completely still for every day. How can I weld that in and make it unique to every day? And there's no one answer for any particular anybody, but I can tell you that when I'm hydrated, I'm a lot more clear in the brain and more able to tap to the body. And it might sound silly, but asking my body, what are you capable of today?
Yeah.
Versus just being like, go. And
I think it sounds smart. I don't know about silly, but like
Well,
it's your body's your vehicle, right? Like that's how you're traveling the earth. So
I refer to that all the time. And I'm like, if you have a, a Yugo or you have a Ferrari, I mean, you still have to let the engine cool. You still have to fuel it. You still have to care, make sure it has tires, make sure it has a good steering wheel.
Sure.
Like, what are the basis components to be able to do the things that you want to do, and not letting yourself be last in that is like the biggest thing. Because you wouldn't go jump in your car if it didn't have its tires on it and expect it's going to roll down the freeway very good, So are you taking care of the parts of your body that are imperative? Hydration is like a no exception, like a non-negotiable for me.
So because I like to distill it down because sometimes people don't know it.
I'm a lot.
No, it's just in general, like people, because it's common when you're having this talk with another fitness person, but to people who aren't in fitness, sometimes it's a little strange. But what I'm hearing is like you have structure, but you also have flexibility. So you're saying your structure comes from making sure you have water, those basic things, and then you can bring your flexibility in on how you feel that day in the style of workout that you do, basically.
Yeah, because like I'm big on do what I say I'm going to do. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. And so I'm teaching like Monday through Friday, basically. And there are some of those days where I'm like, I just want to lay down and take a nap. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, just get your hydration, get your brain feeling like it's clear, and then go at it at the pace that you can take it today. Not what it was yesterday, not what you're expecting tomorrow, but what it is today. And it takes asking yourself and evaluating yourself, not waiting for somebody else to evaluate you. Like honest check-in with your body. What you got today? What you got today?
Yeah. Versus looking at your neighbor or maybe the teacher.
And not to say that asking somebody else for their feedback or their insight isn't a good thing, because for sure I rely on my community all the time and be like, hey, I'm going to run this by you.
Yeah.
What has been your experience with this? And can I get some light bulbs or some ahas out of that as well?
Yeah.
But really honoring your body for the vehicle that it is, for the experience that you want to have in the world and on the daily, not just, in 2025, I'm going to be this and do that.
Right.
That's a really rigid thing to ask yourself to do. And, we're not rigid. We're ever shifting and changing and flowing.
Yeah. Some of us are rigid, unfortunately, and that's why we need yin yoga, right, to calm down.
Yeah. Which is, there's a time and place for it. So, I'm glad that it's there and that I've been able to discover it.
Yeah.
And now I'm just trying to share that with others that are interested. I'm not trying to share it with anybody that doesn't want.
Sure.
Because that's not my journey or their journey. But hey, here's me on my journey. Here's some things I've learned. Oh, you like that? Oh, here's some things you've learned. Oh, let's roll, man. It's like you start caravanning.
Well, yeah, and I just learned something with what you just said, like saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for 2025. I never looked at that as rigid. But you're right, because now you're saying like you just set something in stone that's a whole year long. Yeah. Well, how are you know you're gonna feel like in 3 months?
Yeah.
Right. And so I think I love what you said about that, like checking in with yourself more frequently instead of setting such a long range goal set in stone, because then there's not that ability to see how you feel.
Yeah. And goals are great. I love having goals. I'm a note writer. I'm like a list writer and like check it off. And sometimes I'll do something and go put it on the list so I can be like, haha, it's checked off already. Look at that.
Yeah.
Because it's satisfying. It like creates that like dopamine hit, which we're all looking for. But I love sharing aha moments with people. And so that would be going back to passion. That would be something that I feel like I'm passionate about. Like, oh, I learned this. Here, maybe this will help, help you. And then it kind of can be a volley too, you're talking and you just start like spiraling more information together and it creates synergy. And I love synergy. So.
Yeah, and learning from each other, like you said in your classes, you're watching them, and that's how you're learning not only through yourself but through others. So yeah, synergy. That's interesting. I've never heard that. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm big right now. I read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I'm like, oh, this. It's 7 principles that can be applicable to like anybody, really. And I'm going to do my best to remember the 7. But the first one is be productive. Think with the end in mind. Seek first to understand, then be understood.
Okay.
So that's challenging in a world where we're like always wondering. Sharpen the sword. So learn, keep learning. You know, the guy out in the forest chopping the trees down, if his axe gets dull, he's not going to be able to chop as many trees down. Not that I want people chopping down trees, but that was the example in the book.
Yeah.
And it said this guy would stop to sharpen his sword and then go back out. And sometimes we don't want to stop because we're like, no, we got to keep going. But if you do take the time to stop, restore yourself, repair yourself, hydrate yourself, fuel yourself,
Yeah.
you will be sharper out there. And then synergize was one of them. So I think I missed one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story for another day. But synergy was in there in that book. And I was like, okay, so you want to synergize with your environment, with the people you interact with yourself, with your body, with your muscles, your tissues. It can like overlay in all kinds of different fashions. And I find it fascinating.
It is fascinating. To get to know yourself is fascinating. I think sometimes we're so worried about our external environment, we don't remember to get to know our own inner environment.
So true.
Yeah,
so true.
Allowing that to grow.
Yeah, with raising my girls, you know, I have a 12-year-old right now, and she's always like, oh, they would think X, Y, and Z. Oh no, they're going to be looking at me. Oh no, and no. And I'm like, all right, first of all, you're 12, so that's you're right where you're supposed to be. That's exactly how you should feel right now. But don't worry, because they're thinking the same exact thing, and they're all in their head about if you're looking at them, and it's okay. And now I'm finally like starting to be able to feel that for my own self. Like,
I was gonna say adults do that. Never mind 12-year-olds.
Yes,
like we all do that.
So often. Somebody the other day said, just picture everybody as a 12-year-old. And I'm like, oh, that settles a lot of that settles a lot of questions right now. Yeah, with getting to know yourself, it's a lifelong journey, in my opinion. And getting to know yourself at deeper levels can come in all kinds of formats. Is that when you work out hard, or when you get pressed to the last of your conscious abilities, what are you going to do in that moment? And going back to Pilates, going back to kettlebells, and even yin, what are you going to do when you feel that uncomfortableness? What is that in your tool bag or toolbox of life that you're going to pull from in that moment to get yourself to the next moment? And instead of trying to live to the next day or the next week or the next month or the next year, what are you going to do right now, present? What are you going to do when somebody upsets you? You're going to take their rage bait? Or you're going to like namaste and just cruise on through? Or somewhere in between. It's Goldilocks. Like the Goldilocks rule for me right now has been huge.
A little warm, a little hot, right? Is that
like Goldilocks just picked what was right where she wanted it.
Yeah.
It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. It was just right.
I love that. So they can use the Goldilocks rule. I like that.
Yeah.
So if you had 5 tips for someone entering onto that journey, whether it's the inward journey to get to know themselves or the fitness journey, what, wisdom would you like to impart?
Oh, I knew you were going to come with the harder questions as more we got going. Let's see. Have some fun.
Okay.
Have some fun. Laugh at yourself. Laugh with yourself. Laugh with others. It's not only physically helpful, it's mentally helpful. And then it makes it a little lighter, right? So have some fun. Don't get in this space where you forget that your breath is your superpower. Your breath is life force energy coming in and out of your body. And it's accessible. Our body breathes without us even thinking. And thankfully, however we were created, whoever created us, whatever created us, put that into play to where we could just kind of go on about life doing our thing without thinking about breathing. But take conscious breaths. maybe once in the morning, once at night. And I'm not saying all day you're sitting there and om and
Right.
breathing intently, but that can really affect your neurology. You can affect your nervous system in positive ways. One of my favorite things to teach is the physiological sigh, which is 2 sniffs in and 1 long exhale. And you do it when you cry, like,
Oh yeah, I never really
but you
thought
can
about
do
that.
it when you're not crying. You just,
Okay.
so that would be a tip. Tip 3, surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. Surround yourself with the environment that you can be yourself. Tip 4.
And it could be 3.
Okay,
if
I'm
you're
going to
good
give you
at
3. I'm going to give you 3 because I
All right,
feel
I love
like
that, 'cause
I
those
don't want
are-
to start digging and then they just
No,
sound like nonsense.
that's perfect. I mean, those are 3 solid tips that you can take into any modality, right? Like,
Yeah.
literally, have fun,
Have fun.
breathe.
Breathe. And then check your environment. If you're feeling drained all the time, what has your environment been around you?
Yeah. And would you say you could do that to choose the modality that you like? Let's say you go into Pilates and you check around and you're like, this is just not for me, even though
Yeah.
everybody says it's great.
Yeah. And sometimes too, not the first time is going to be
Sure.
the scale mover.
Yeah.
You know, I really love it when people come into a class and they're like, I accidentally got into this class because I was actually supposed to go to this class, but I showed up late, so I came to this one, and I'm so glad because I had no idea that was
Yeah.
even there. Otherwise, it wouldn't have even been on my Richter scale
Yeah.
or the radar. So, sometimes let yourself be surprised. That's kind of a nice little treat you can give yourself.
Yeah. And what about tools? Because I know you have these oils. So do you use these as part of your...
I use essential oils on the daily, and I'm kind of I don't know if I would, I like a certain brand because they have certain formats of being true to the system. So I don't want to name because we're not sponsoring anything right now. But
you like essential oils.
I love essential oils. They're plants with purpose, basically. And so some of the little mixes that I have, if I'm feeling like my brain is groggy, then I will pull out a peppermint or a rosemary and stimulate my brain a little bit more. If I feel like I'm too stimulated, give me some lavender, give me some rooting oils. And so, yeah, I use them every day.
So that could be your tip 4, right? Use some tools or whatever brings you...
They bring you into the present moment. Mm-hmm. They help you, maybe, for somebody that doesn't necessarily... What is a conscious breath? Okay, well, if you take essential oils, put it in your palm and cup over your nose and breathe in 3 or 4 times, that's you consciously connecting. Your olfactory gland's going to get it, and it's going to take it into the body and be like, this is what I need to do with this. The cells are so intelligent that they'll take it in and know exactly how to work it in the body. Not every oil works for everybody, so it's kind of like if you were to go to the doctor and say, I need a prescription. Not every prescription works for everybody.
Sure.
But it's just a natural alternative to medicine, natural connection to earth and to the body. And we're part of earth, but we're just like walking. We get to walk around,
And you get to engage another one of your senses, right? You're using your body physically, then you can use your smell, whichever one works for you to get you into the now, into what you're...
And fun fact about smell is the memory and smell are the strongest of all the what's the word I'm looking for? Senses, yes. So your sense of smell, like if you've ever been to a place and then you're out and about and you smell the smell and it brings you to a place, that's the most powerful. So that's another reason why I like to use oils.
That's good for me. My husband calls me McGruff. Because I can smell everything. So I love smells.
Well, after we're done here, we'll dive in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we have a tradition on the podcast of like choosing a card for a message for yourself and for our audience. Sweet. So if you would indulge us, maybe shuffle however you feel see fit.
These are cool.
That's a creativity deck.
Oh, wow. If you guys could see this deck, you would love it.
Maybe we can drop a link or something.
This is fascinating.
I did not make this deck, so.
All right. I'm not a super duper shuffler, but
that's okay. The last person threw them on the floor in their lap, so you're good.
Let's see
You're
which
ahead
one
of the
pops
game right
out.
now.
Let's see which one pops out. I feel like this one popped out.
Perfect. Will you read it for us?
Yeah.
And maybe give your interpretation, and then I can add to it.
All right. It says happy accident.
Ah.
Fortunate accidents can act as guides to edit and be open to where you should go next. And it was number 61, which 6 and 1 is 7. And 7 is a pretty great number in my
I feel like that
opinion.
solidifies what you've been saying. Like, you don't have to be so structured. You could, you don't need the 2025 plan. Be in the moment now, right?
Yeah,
To see what surprise you might get, right?
And have fun.
And to have fun with it.
This was definitely.
I would say that was pretty.
It's got 2 cute little fairies on it dancing. They look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So happy accident for everyone out in the audience. So if something happened you didn't expect today, roll with it, go with the flow, and just allow things to unfold the way they're supposed to. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, thank you for coming. It was such a
Thank you
pleasure
for
to meet you
having me.
and sharing your essential oils. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
you.
having me.
Thanks.
Have a good day, guys.